everyone, Kerri here. Welcome to this quest for the headstand press class. Today we're going to focus on all of the components that you need in order to press into a headstand. You will want 2 yoga blocks for this class to modify, and we're also going to use the yoga blocks to strengthen. So today we're going to focus on hamstring flexibility, core strength, back strength, shoulder strength, and flexibility, and all those things you need to press into a headstand. So if you're ready to begin, let's go ahead and start in tabletop position. So I want you to bring your hands right underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hips. And I want you to draw in your transverse abdominis, your TVA. So think about these 2 hip points, draw them together. Think about making your waist tiny like a girdle. Then squeeze and lift up through the pelvic floor like a half Kegel exercise. So we want a nice, strong, solid core there. Now that's really important because as we press into a headstand and as we hold a headstand, we need our core to be stabilized. We need our spine rather to be stabilized by those core muscles. So we need to have nice, strong TVA. So draw that in, hold, squeeze, and then we'll do these little shoulder retraction, protraction, press ups, okay? So all we're doing here is isolating the shoulder joint, and we're pressing up protraction so the top of your back goes nice and flat or even a little bit rounded like a cobra, like a snake, right? And then we retract like you're squeezing a pencil between your shoulder blades. Now, nothing is happening in the pelvis. We are simply just warming up the shoulders. This is also a great strengthener. All right, now I want you to press into the ball of your hand. So we're activating through the forearm. We're not dumping into the joint. We have nice activation, and we're getting lots of blood flow there. You should start to feel the burn here pretty soon if you're not already feeling it. You can do this as fast or as slow as long as you are drawing your core in and it's only coming from the shoulder girdle. So let's do about 10 more. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, press it all the way up, squeeze. 10 seconds here. Upper back is rounded. We're going to hold, drawing that core in. Breathe. So it's good to breathe diaphragmatically, breathing with sound. Pressing all the way up as much as you possibly can, rounding that upper back. Hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then go ahead and sit back, grab the yoga block, sit up nice and tall. You can even do this against the wall if you're having trouble with sitting up nice and tall. Draw your core in, and I want you to place the block between your hands there. So the thumbs are tucked in. We're not gripping the block. We're here, all right? Then place the hands out and really protract your shoulders. So again, press the block away from you. Abs in, back nice and straight. We're going to come down to the floor and then lift it up. Now when you lift it up, try not to pop your ribs out, okay? So we want to draw those ribs down. We're going to come down and up about 10 times, okay? Inhaling, exhaling, lift. When you come up, I want you to really press up and your biceps should touch your ears there, all right? So let's go. 10, 9, abs on. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there. Press the block up towards the ceiling for 5, 4. Squeeze the block. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Good job. Let's go into puppy pose. This is going to help our shoulders with our flexibility. I want you to grab the edge of the yoga mat. Walk your knees back a little bit here, and then straighten your arms, eyes to the elbows. The inside of your elbows are going to face towards each other or slightly up. We want an external rotation of the shoulder, and then just do these little pumps here. So we have activation because we're squeezing the mat. The inside of the elbows are facing upward, and then as soon as you do about 5 or 6 of those, I want you to pause wherever you're at and see if you can get your chin down. If not, forehead down. And our arms are only about shoulder width apart, right? If you can get your chin and your chest down, hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then come forward into Sphinx Pose. Release the mat, shoulders away from ears. Gaze forward, belly turned on, legs are nice and firm. Great. Then go ahead and place those fingertips right by your ribcage. Tuck your toes. Push back into downward facing dog. Go ahead and wiggle it out a little bit. Moving side to side. You can bend the knees, walk the dog. Breathing in and out through your nose. Let's glide forward into plank pose. So just hold it here. If you need to, you're going to drop down to the knees. I want you to protract your shoulders, draw your TVA in so your core is on. If you can, we're going to just hold right here in plank. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop to the knees. Take a quick little child's pose here, just for a moment. Nice deep breath in and out. Then do that again. Come forward, either on your knees or on your toes. Hold your plank. Protract your shoulders. Now, depending on where you're at, if you're on your knees, you're going to hold there. If you can do this, I want you to try to push forward into those toes, okay? So we go past the wrist there with the shoulders and bring it back. So we go 10, 9, nice strong arms, 8, 7, your back is rounded, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great, downward dog. And then child's pose. Drop down to the knees, forehead down. All right, you guys, take a moment and just breathe. Great. Now, coming forward into dolphin. So when we go into our headstand, we need to have our elbows right underneath our shoulders. So you can grab the biceps here. All right. And then normally when we go into our headstand, we would clasp the hands. And I'll show you that a little bit later. So in dolphin, we want the same thing. We want those elbows underneath the shoulders. You're here. Tuck in the skin. Push the shoulders away from those ears. And then let's see if we can tuck the toes and come on up. If that's hard, just drop down to the knees. Now, again, protract those shoulders. Draw those abs in, squeeze the pelvic floor, and just hold it here, all right? I'm going to hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees down, go back to Sphinx Pose. Just stretch it here for a moment. Nice deep breath in and out. Okay, you can repeat that, or we're going to add those dolphin leans. So let's make sure that those elbows are underneath the shoulders, abs are on, tuck the toes, press it up, either hold here or push onto those toes, bring it forward for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Knees down. Take a child's pose. Let's move through a vinyasa. So tuck your toes, push into your downward facing dog. You can bend the knees here if hamstrings are tight, if you feel like you're rounding your back. You can also drop to the knees as we glide forward in plank here, all right? But we do push forward into chaturanga. So if you need to, push forward, then drop down to the knees, hug those arms in, come on down to about 90 degrees with that shoulder, and then press top of the feet, shoulders away from ears, knees are off the ground. You can look forward or you can look up. Then roll over your toes, exhale. Let's take downward facing dog again. Nice deep breath in, inhale. Exhale, glide forward, plank. Push forward on the toes. Stay here or drop to the knees. Exhale, hug those arms in, only 90 degrees. Upward dog. Downward dog. And anytime you need a break, just go ahead and pause and take a break. Go wiggle a little bit, bending the knees. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale, glide forward. Push forward of those wrists. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Nice and slow. All right, so we get the most out of it. Exhale, downward dog. Good job, you guys. Wiggle it out. Breathe with sound. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. Nice job. Dropping to the knees, let's take a child's pose. Forehead down. Just relax for a moment. Then let's slide the hands by the face, tuck your toes, and I want you to keep your chest on your thighs there and feet hip width apart, and then go ahead and fold forward. So if our hamstrings are tight, it might even look like this. If you have a little more flexibility, you can go ahead and try to straighten out through the knees and then just hang here for a moment. So half the battle is really getting used to being upside down. So a great way to get used to being upside down is to just hang upside down. This also is going to help lengthen through the hamstrings and also help strengthen them. So just breathe, relax, get nice and heavy, and then you can kind of shift your weight forward and back. Brings a little bit more activation to this stretch. And just relax, let it go. And notice where you're at. Notice how much flexibility that you have in your hamstrings. Take one more nice deep full breath. Inhale, exhale. Release those hands, bend the knees even more, walk it out. We're going to find tabletop position. So knees underneath the hips and then hands right underneath the shoulders there. And what I want you to do now is to walk your hands about a hand's distance in front and then shift your shoulders over your wrists. Now, what happens is our knees are now not stacked under the hips, and that's what I want. So then from here, release your toes, retract your shoulder blades, eyes of the elbows face forward, and then arch your back as much as you can. You'll feel that in the low back immediately, and then chin to chest. Okay, so what we're doing here is just stretching out through the front body, and we are flexing through the back. And that is going to give us a little bit more length in our hamstrings. So chin to chest, tailbone lifting as much as you can, feeling it all through that lower back. Breathe. Lock out those arms. Make sure your shoulders are right over those wrists. Good. A little bit more. Lift your tailbone. Squeeze your back muscles. Awesome. Now tuck your toes. Slowly come out of that. Walk the hands towards your knees. Tuck those toes and we'll move into that forward fold again. See if we got some more length. Hang nice and heavy. Grab the biceps. Notice the difference. Keeping the back flat, keeping the knees soft. You can shake out any tension you have in your neck and in your shoulders. Try to make sure that your ribs are touching your thighs. That's really going to help. Good. Let's stay here for another few breaths. So our goal is to get comfortable upside down. Get used to that blood flow to the head. Awesome, team. All right, let's go ahead and walk the hands a little bit forward. Walk the feet in, step, and then take the left leg, cross it behind the right, and have a seat. Then you can just take a moment, let the blood drain out of the head. All right, team, good job. Now, straighten out those legs in front of you. I want you to tip forward from the waist, so try not to round the back, but tip forward from the waist. You might not be able to go very far. It doesn't matter how far you go. Just go as far as you can with a nice straight back. Hold it here. Breathe. And we're going to cupcake these hands here. Now, as we move into this next movement, you might need to lean back further, and that's totally fine, okay? So it's not so much about how far you can lean forward. This is going to aid in your compression and your core strength. So as you work through this class, if you do it several times, you're going to keep trying to bring your chest closer to your legs, but you might start out right here, okay? So don't worry about it. All right, now, tip forward as much as you can, cupcake those hands, point your toes, and we're going to lift that right leg up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up. Good. Release it. Other side. Lift it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Release it. Flex your feet. Now come forward. Notice if you've got a little bit of length there. Breathe. Good. Stay where you're at. Cupcake those hands. Draw your core in. Squeeze the pelvic floor. Point your toes now. Right side. Lift. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. Left side. Lift it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flex. Tip forward even more. Nice. Breathe. Great job, you guys. All right, now if you are feeling it out here, this is your TFL. All right, and usually what happens if the psoas is a little bit weak, the TFL will take over. So if that's happening to you, just notice that's what that is, and we need to work on some more psoas strength, which we're gonna do right now. So from here, keeping the legs straight, flex the feet and glue your heels to the ground. The option for this one is to bend the knees and hold on to the back of the legs, squeezing your knees together, all right? So as we move through this Pilates roll up, if you find that you can't keep your heels down, all right, or you can't keep your low back down once we get there, then bend the knees and that'll help greatly. And as you progress through this class, you can always advance it as you go. All right, so from here, legs are together, gluing those heels. Reach the arms up, draw in through the core, okay? So abs are on, we're not arching the back here, we're here, reach, gluing those heels, articulate the spine by slowly coming down, so squeeze in your core, good. And then hopefully you have enough room, you haven't touched the wall like I am, we're gonna be here. Draw your core in, low back on the ground. Then inhale, exhale, keep those heels glued down, lift it up here. Good. Inhale, exhale, squeeze everything. So abs on, coming down nice and slow. Low back stays on the ground the entire time. Reach. And then exhale, lift it up. Awesome job, guys. Squeeze, coming down. So we're working on this core strength here. Reach it up, squeeze, engage, suck it in, you got it, and bring it down. Inhale, exhale, come on up. Good. Bringing it down, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze everything. Nice and slow, and all the way up. We have 2 more, reach it up, squeeze, abs are on, and take it down, articulate the spine, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Each vertebrae hitting the ground, bring it back, low back staying on the mat, lift, you got it, and all the way down. Squeeze, low back on the ground, reach it, nice job, knees into the chest. Let's take a little break here, rock it out. All right, guys, so one of the things that I teach in my workshops is this plow pose here and a roll down, articulating the spine, low back stays on the ground, point your toes, and then keep your low back on the ground, tap the feet as you lift back over. Okay. Now we are going to advance to that, but the first thing that we need is to get into Halasana here, all right? So if this is a challenge for you, you can use the wall here for some support, all right? If you're not quite to that point where you can get your feet over and have the strength and the flexibility to hold here, so you certainly can work on getting the feet onto the wall, holding here, and then seeing about lifting, because this is the same muscle group that you are going to use when you press up into your headstand, okay? So you can flirt around with your plow pose into your shoulder stand to get the feeling of your headstand press, okay? Because we are resting on the back of the neck and the shoulders, and we're doing the same movement in the legs in order to get them to come up straight. The difference would be that we're just not on the top of the head. So practice with that. And then once you get strong enough to come all the way down, I want you to draw in your core, keep your low back on the ground, and lower the legs as far as you can. You might only be able to go here. You might have to bend the knees, all right, and only be able to come here. You might not even be able to get over into Plow Pose, Halasana. So it might look like this, where we press here, keep the low back on the ground, we bend the knees, we go here. So this is what it might look like for someone who is just working on their strength. If you have a little more flexibility, you're going to come here, point your toes, get your knees close to your body, squeeze, compress as much as you can, low back staying on the ground, legs are together, slowly coming down, tap the ground if you can. If not, you're here. Or maybe you have to be here, okay? So take your option. Low back has to stay down though, right? And then lift it back or as much as you can. So wherever you're at, we're gonna do 10 of these. Engage the legs, bring them in nice and close, compressing right there through the core, coming down, tap the floor, and lift it up. 9, articulate the spine, down. 8, make sure you're listening to your body. Bring it down. 7, exhaling all the way down. Inhale as you lift. 6, squeeze everything together, nice and tight. Point the toes. Good. Take it over. 5, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. All the way down. Almost there, guys. 4, you should be feeling this through your core, through your hamstrings. Squeeze. Tap. 3, starting to feel fatigued a little bit, I hope. Squeeze everything, engage your core, abs are on, pelvic floor is lifting. 2 more. And squeeze, bring it down, point your toes, knees together. How are we doing? Last one. Take it over. Squeeze it, make it your best one. Slowly coming down. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Low back on the ground, point your toes. Tap, knees in. Big hug. Whew, good job. Let's lift up into a bridge. So feet come down, hips lift. Awesome, team. All right, go ahead and bring it down, cross, and then move it forward. Hands come down, step back, take your downward facing dog. Go ahead and wiggle it out. Great job. All right, let's set the knees down. Grab our yoga blocks here. Have them handy because we're going to use them here in a moment. Now, let's talk about the difference between bound and tripod headstand. So tripod headstand, we make a triangle, our head and our 2 hands. We place the crown of the head down. We pull the shoulder blades back. We make sure that we have this 90-degree angle between the elbow and the shoulder and the wrist. And then we press up from here, all right? Now, the majority of the weight is on the head and in the neck. So it can be pretty intense for the muscles of the neck, which is why I don't really recommend it. Now in bound headstand, you basically do the same thing. However, our forearms are down. So you place the elbows in alignment with our shoulders. You can grab your biceps, then take a clasp of the hands like a basket. I like to leave this pinky free because I'll put that slightly under my head as like a door stop, okay? Then you find the crown of your head, shoulders away from ears, and we'll press into a headstand from here. Now, that feels a lot more core and hamstring harder, right? So the difference is that this one, the bound headstand, uses more core strength, therefore is more stable. Now, in order to find the crown of your head, you can take a yoga block and rest it on your head, and wherever it balances, all right, kind of press down so you feel it. That's the crown of your head. That's a pretty good indication of the flattest point on the top of your head where you're going to balance. So try that, and then let's go ahead and set up our bound headstand. So I want you to grab your biceps here, make a basket, all right? So this is clasped fingers, so we're interlacing. Leave that pinky free. Find the crown of the head there, and then we hold on to the back of the head. So the hands rather, are really holding the back of the head there. I've seen lots of different variations, okay, and I've used them all and tried them all. This is by far the most supportive. Now, we tuck in the skin, shoulders go away from the ears, and you want to start out here, just hanging out here. Make sure the crown of the head is touching the ground, all right, but the weight is in the arms, so the forearms and the elbows and the hands. Now, you can just, if you are a beginner, hang out here, get used to that feeling of something pressing on the top of your head, get used to being upside down, and, hold this for up to 2 minutes, and then take a break. If you want to go for a little bit more, you'll tuck the toes, straighten the legs, and this can be a lot more intense. So if this is really intense for you, you're just going to stay here. Don't collapse in those shoulders. Pull the shoulders back, abs are on, right? And you'll just hold here for maybe up to 5 to 10 breaths, and then come on down. Take a child's pose after maybe each one. And then you can sit up and just kind of stretch out the muscles of the neck, moving the ear from side to side, taking the head around. And you want to make sure that you don't feel any weirdness happening in the neck, because the neck is very fragile, you guys, and oftentimes a lot of people will take it for granted, and they'll kick up into a headstand, or they'll even do a split leg entrance. And although most of the time it might be okay, if you are having any kind of tension or any imbalances going on in the neck with all that weight on it can just snap real quickly. So I've seen it happen to not only myself, but to my students. So you guys be really careful and really aware, and just make sure as you are kind of stretching out your neck, you're asking your body, how are you feeling? What's going on? And you're really tuning into what your body is telling you. Now let's go ahead and take the yoga block. I want you to place it between your knees. Squeeze. Find your perfect position there. Grab your biceps, interlace the hands, make that basket. Find the crown of your head. Now, beginners, you can stay here, squeezing the block between your knees, pressing away those shoulders. Notice how much different this is to have that core activation going on through the pelvic floor and the inner thighs. All right, then you can do is walk it forward as much as you can. Squeeze the block, stay on your toes, shoulders away from ears, and you can hold here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come down. Walk the feet out. Bring it down. Take a little child's pose. See how that feels. Notice what's going on in your neck. Okay, and anytime you need a break and you want to sit up, just stretch out the muscles of the neck, check in with your body, see how it's feeling. Please do so, okay? Now let's go ahead and show you some other ways that you can work on this press headstand. So from here, again, grab those biceps, interlace the hands, find the crown of the head, tuck in the skin, shoulders away from ears, straighten out those legs, start to walk it in, and then get those hips back as far as you can. This is where your hamstring flexibility will come in. So if you don't have the hamstring flexibility, I want you just to bend the knees, but we're moving those hips over those shoulders. So if the knees are bent, you can't say it's about your hamstrings anymore. All right, this is your core strength here, core strength. So just hold. You can maybe take one foot into the chest, maybe flirt around with the other foot. See if you can start to get light. All right, start to get light. What we can also do is move over to the wall. All right, come a little bit closer to the wall. Now this is scarier, but I'm not going to let you go all the way up. Moving over to the wall, same thing here. Come pretty close to it. Find your nice perfect position. Interlace. Come here, walk it in. Keep one foot down, shoulders away from ears, and then use the wall to help you float those hips back. Now, you're not going to go up, okay, because you might go over into a back bend. We don't want that. We're just trying to feel what or how much we need to get those hips back in order to find our press headstand, okay? And you can even come here and just hold, but make sure these feet stay down. We don't want to walk them too high up the wall. The closer they are to the floor, the better. Okay, so then come on down. Take a little break here. Child's pose. Stretch it out. Take a moment. Just relax the muscles of the neck. Anytime you start to feel like it's too much, pause the video and come back later. All right, so once we have worked on the core strength in order to be able to lift up, we have worked on the hamstring flexibility, and we've worked on the shoulder strength. Now it's just technique. So let's go ahead and find our proper alignment here. Grabbing the biceps, interlace the hands, make that little basket for the back of your head. Okay, make sure you guys can see here. Tuck in the skin. Shoulders away from ears, abs are on, tuck the toes, walk it in. Walk it in, walk it in, walk it in, and then bring one knee into the chest and see if you can get light with that other foot. All right, and then play around with it. And this is that same muscle group that we did in that plow pose to shoulder stand. So it is the muscles of your low back and your core really taking you up there, okay? Now, again, we can use the wall or we can use a yoga block. We can place the yoga block there to give us a little bit of height. Grab your biceps, make the basket. Find the crown of your head, support yourself. Walk it in, find some height on the top of that block, and then see if that helps you find some lightness. If you found lightness, wherever you're at really, I want you to just hold and hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down, rest. Recover for a moment. Child's pose. And then come on up. You can either use the block or the wall for a little bit of extra height, or just stay with your toes on the ground. We are going to flirt with actually pressing into a pike position. Now, in this class, we're not going to go all the way up into headstand. All right, we're just going to go into pike position. The first 2 or 3 inches off the floor is actually the hardest. So if you are able to master those first couple of inches and hold it there, then moving up into your straight headstand will be a piece of cake. So I want you to come again forward, find your alignment, grab the biceps, interlace the hands, find the crown of the head here, shoulders away from ears, skin is tucked in, your head is being cradled by your hands there, walk it in. If you need to bend the knees, you bend the knees, bring those hips back, and see if you can float those feet off the ground. Okay, hold here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Take a moment, and then let's see if we can go up into pike position halfway. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow descent. Take it down into your child's pose. Rest the neck. So just taking a moment here, you can kind of turn your head from side to side, see how you're feeling. If you have any tension, please don't go any further. We're going to do one more, a little bit longer hold now in that pike position. If you're using the wall, you can do the hold there on the wall, or if you're using the block to lift your feet up, or even if you are bending the knees and your toes are still on the ground, wherever you're at, we're just going to gain some core and shoulder strength here. So last and final one, we're going to do a 10 count hold. Anytime you feel like you need to bail out of it because it's too much, please do so. Remember, you want to listen to your body here, okay? Really important. So let's grab the biceps, find our perfect alignment, interlace, tuck the skin in. Let's cradle the head here. Okay, so I want you to feel good in your headstand. You can even stay here on this last one or here, anywhere along the lines, okay? And then very, very slowly, see if you can tip those hips back. Come up into your pike, shoulders away from ears, toes are pointed, legs are together. 10. Breathe with sound. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And slowly coming down. Release it. Walk the feet out. Let's take a nice child's pose here. Forehead down. Kind of wiggle your head a little bit. See how you feel. Notice where you felt that the most. If you felt it the most in your neck, we need to work on strengthening the shoulders, strengthening the muscles in the neck. If you felt it more in your hamstrings, we need to work on our hamstring flexibility. If you felt it in your core, then we have to work on our core. Maybe if you felt it in all those places, then we need to work on all those things. Okay, slowly, guys, bring those hands by your face. We're going to come on up. Let the blood drain out of our head here. We're going to do some awesome neck and shoulder stretches, okay? So sit up tall, drop the shoulders. I want you to take your right ear to your right shoulder, and then come back to neutral. Take it to the other side. Take some wonderful exhale breaths, just let go. Good, back to center. And then take it to the left and all the way around to the right. Nice and slow. And go the opposite direction. And again. Good, coming back to neutral. I want you to turn your head to the left as far as you can. Turn your head to the right as far as you can. Awesome. All right, now, sitting up tall, I want you to press the heel of your hand towards the ground. This is called a nerve stretch. We're not stretching the nerves, but we are stretching the muscles around the nerves, okay, that house those nerves. So you're pressing down, depressing through the shoulders, pressing into the heel of the hand, really like, almost like you were shooting energy out of the heel of your hand. So that's what I think of when I'm doing this, okay? So send the energy down, shoulders away from ears, and you should start to feel a stretch right here. If you're not feeling it, okay, start to lift those hands slightly up until you feel it. And wherever you're at, press and depress those shoulders. So press through the heel of the hand, hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew, release. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, we're going to spiral around. Take a nice twist here. Right hand to left knee. Look behind you. Other way, left hand to right knee. Good, deltoid stretch. Take the arm across, drop the shoulder here. Awesome job today, guys. Other side. Hope this class helped you with your headstand press. Please leave me a comment in the Facebook group and let me know. All right, one big breath in, reach it up. Exhale, hands to heart. Good job today, guys. You did amazing. Thanks for practicing with me.